guys? helloazae here, and welcome to my 100% OG Play Something series. Today we're playing a very special game by the developer Giant Sparrow. What Remains of Edith Finch? So, from what I know of Giant Sparrow, which made the very wonderful game Unfinished Swan back in, I want to say 2012, 2011, 2013. I know, within that 2-3 year range. It's been a while. I'm in for quite an emotional trip. So from what I know of this game, it seems to be about a young lady named Edith Finch returning to her ancestral roots. Or rather, returning to her ancestral home? How to open the book? Book. What are the keys? Oh, R1. Okay.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you. And I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Oh my. And here I am. So What Remains of Edith Finch is apparently a story about a girl returning to her home, the family Finch. For the Finch family home.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
And that's the house in the horizon, sort of, just a little beyond there. What's this? I'm sure Edith's gonna slowly tell the story as we go along, and I'll try to interact.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Oh dear. We're gonna be in for quite an emotional roller coaster. Giant Sparrow has this very great knack of really being able to touch audiences with their stories, and this is in many ways a compilation of short stories and individuals within the Finch family that have experienced much tragedy, and particularly Edith herself.
My mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
In her will, the main crux of this game is death, and how
maybe she thought I'd know, or
and how people
she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
And how death brings people either closer or further away to each other. But nonetheless, I'm trying not to interrupt as the text mysteriously floats on the screen. This is one of those journeys I really want players to pay attention to. There may be things I'll be missing along the way, and I highly recommend people to probably read about this game afterwards just to see what I may or may have missed, or get various opinions on the subject at hand. The Finch family residence. I'll try to keep some conversation to a minimum, but enough to not interrupt. Of course, if something does come up, I will definitely stop talking and let this on-screen text float up, and Edith narrate as her heart contents. Until then, we'll just walk the path around the house.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
So immediately I'm noticing that some of the movements and the camera is very shaky and jarring. Definitely not very smooth, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for here. At the same time, hope it doesn't... Oh, that's deer. Stop me from playing. I really love these kind of short story games. It just tells me so much. It really causes me to re-examine myself, really think. Oh, I jumped away. Come back. Yet I have no jump button. Oh. And I see, there's Edith. This is the Branch family. Oh dear. Oh, options. Should have reticle on. Probably should have fixed this earlier, but... Brightness? I'm playing in a very lit room at the moment, and sometimes it gains glare, so I'm going to just put a little bit of brightness on. Control, normal, invert. Nope, normal it is. Nope. Sorry, guys. That's a little distracting, isn't it? Oh dear.
Even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
So after her brother's funeral, she hasn't been back to the house, and the will given to her by her mother was left a key, and she hadn't expected herself to use that, or her mother expected her to use that eventually,
But now I
at
had
some
questions
point.
about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
I think I'm just gonna let the story do most of the storytelling here, or let the game do most of the
The
telling,
house was
rather than me.
exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
This game has sort of a spooky, derelict, but almost nostalgic feel to it. I feel like this is such a lived-in home. See the basketball net here, that kind of indicates that kids played here. The super treehouse-looking aesthetic makes you know that a lot of kids would have played in this house. The colorful roofs. It makes it feel more like a very homely area that just was left to abandon. Is that like the dragon's head? Is that a swamp creature thing? Okay. About this being a homely. Yeah. Bit of foresight on my part. Okay, that's zoom. L1 is zoom, guys. Look closer.
As a
Small child.
child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
That's settling. Comforting, at best. No, not really. Key. No. Missing.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Oh, so L2's interact. R2's interact.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
So a lot of the storytelling is being told through interaction. And a lot of it's being meant through just like sort of picking at things, perhaps. And there's actually a window. Bench. So this key isn't the one that opens the door. I'd like for something else later on. Perhaps a room in a house. Back door. I guess we'll find out. I mean, everything about this house just gives up the vibe that it's supposed to be very normal. Wind chimes, recycling, garage door. Like, absolute things that just would be part of a normal household. Huh. Back door? Maybe not at all. Okay.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
I'm just saving without me needing to. That's nice. I recognize a large part of me probably should be playing this game on a solo time without very little noise. And maybe I should keep to that kind of lower tone. But then the fear comes of where my mic doesn't actually pick up what I'm saying very well. And in editing, everything will sound too loud. That said, I'm gonna continue with this kind of volume. Hopefully it won't be too bad.
For the first time in years,
Ah, I see, because this game came out in 2017, 7 years ago, 2010. Very different time, it was a very different time for me also.
I felt like I was home.
Given that her family died, or what it seems like her family's dead, her brother's passed on, her mother left a will, no mention of a father. She's been alone. This is her familial home.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Yeah, I guess this is it. Here's the brother that passed on. Grandmother. Mother. Edie, Dawn, Lewis. There's the father, I guess. No, not brother. Sorry, brother, no, it's father. I feel like everything's off color and just kind of terrifies me. Looks like a recipe for pie? Yep.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
There's a history here. And that's one of the key things about this game. I think there's just a strong sense of history about this place. It was lived in, and I have to stress the past tense here. Was lived in. There's a strange sense of how kept this house is in spite of that. It's been 7 years.
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
It's quite out of the way. So there's a lot of memories for Edith here. Memories for brother, her family. Brother passed away in 2010. Only 12 years old at the time. It's older brother by a year. There's the family. Wait a second. Yeah. I was already 22 years old. Why did I say 12? That's silly of me. So once he got the job at the cannery, salmon. Picturing their kids. Oh dear. Chinese
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Edie with the wheelchair. Where is that? Garage? Looks like this. Oh, something on the here.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Great-grandmother. What about regular grandmother? I mean, I think this house just feels...
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
overbearing? A little bit. I can sort of see that. A lot of books.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
TV held up by books isn't exactly a great idea. In hindsight, by the way, guys. It looks like they were trying to pack or unpack. I kind of understand the feeling this game gives me already, so already in. The fact that in the past 7 years the house itself hasn't really decayed as much, everything inside it isn't really gone, isn't in a mess, and that everything still feels like home to Edith currently, is what makes this feel eerie. The silence in particular, because of how, well, it shouldn't feel silent. It feels like a house that's been recently lived in. It's really kept well. God, that does freak me out. Yeah, this too, a little bit. Barbara. Oh, let's see.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Edith, Lewis, Milton, Dawn, Edie. This is names. This is all packed in the house. Wow, that's a really big barred-in door. Okay. That's out of place. Missing.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
I see. Milton went missing.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
So they're trying to place a mystery that something happened that last night and we just left. Mother passed away, Edie, we have no idea. These will be very nice one day when I'm old. Just glide up the chair.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Something about Milton.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Molly. Molly's room. Edie, 1917. She only lived until like 6-8 years. I gotta stop doing that. Here's the family tree. Milton went missing when he was only 9? 11? Sorry, 11. Well, I don't math very well today. Oops, my apologies. But, Jesus. Gus. Is that a brother? Man, this family. Look at all these early deaths constantly, everywhere. Calvin died in age 11. Barbara dies in age 16? 1944, right? Sven has no number. Edie was probably the longest lived, as far as I can tell. Woman almost lived 100 years. 7 years short. Mind you, but probably the longest lived amongst this family. It's a frightening thought. That's okay. All the doors? That's a little creepy.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
History's a beautiful thing. It's just always so creepy, though. Oops.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Electricity going up. Kinda wanna pull that plug and see what happens, but... Oh my god.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
I hear a draft around here.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Oh my.
Turns out, My mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
I'll be back for that. This corridor just creeps me out.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
A year.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
As I'm playing this, I can just feel the weight of every single individual story start weighing in on me. Like, it's pretty much just constant death after death. And it's just tragedy after tragedy, but all these, like, innocuously and seemingly innocent stories. Just, I have family, my cousin did this, my grandfather did this. Goodness.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Before he disappeared in his young age.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
What the This was Molly's room. Before she died.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
"10 years old." Were those the words there earlier? Maybe.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Oh, the irony.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Well, not less of a painting, more just a room. Just stopped in time entirely. What did Molly see? How did Molly live? Everything this is Molly experienced in 1947. The view outside the window may have changed, but everything here hasn't.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here. Before my mom sealed the doors.
Molly Finch.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
"1947.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back. I kept eating and eating.
Eating a toothpaste? Jesus Christ.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Are those even edible?
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
But...
And suddenly...
I was a cat?
I was a cat!
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Guess this section of the house hasn't been built yet.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Can you really hear that?
Rabbits.
Got him.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
Oh my.
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
Missed.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
What the heck is going on with this kid? Oh my god, I can move! I've been trying not to interrupt, but it's just... This kid's many animals?
I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
A child's insatiable hunger? Wanderlust? Zion?
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Oh boy.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Oh my gosh, this kid, insatiable. This kid had quite the imagination. Molly was quite the imagination indeed.
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
This kid, what the heck?
I
That's
wanted
quite
to
the
stop, but
imagination.
also I didn't.
His belly was rusty.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
And I swam and I swam towards my destination.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
This child's imagination got very gruesome. I'm at a loss for words because Edith's initial impression of Molly was this girl that she could have been friends with, but this girl in particular, colorful as this imagination is, but
I got closer and closer.
is this? Oh wow. It's Molly's room. No way.
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
I'm gonna take a quick break here, folks, because that was a lot different than what I was imagining. And I'm honestly just floored by the kid's imagination. Well, the writer's imagination, the developer as well. But that was just, what did it all mean, and what could it have meant for Molly, what it meant for her, that entire journey altogether. Just such a strange experience. Anyways, guys, I'll be back in a bit. If you like the content, if you like my content so far, guys, and you like this game so far, highly encourage you to like, comment, and to subscribe below, or you can pick up the game yourself, because as you can tell, this is very, very different. And also, by the way, if you can, I would love if you could just follow me on Twitter at helloazae. So yeah, I'll be back momentarily, guys. Enjoy.